Is the
I
technology?
can wait. Yes, Marlo.
So close.
No, it started already. All right. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Here we go. The mouse is little. Yeah. All right, welcome everyone. Happy 2026. Here we are. We have begun the meeting. Any visitors today? Welcome. Thank you, Charles, for joining today. We will start our meeting with the land acknowledgement. All Spokane Public Library buildings sit on the traditional homelands of the four bands of the Spokane Tribe of Indians: Upper Band, Middle Band, Lower Band, and Chewelah Band. Since time immemorial, the Spokane Tribe of Indians has lived and cared for these grounds, identifying themselves as flesh of the earth. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. We show gratitude to the land, river, and peoples who have been fishing, hunting, harvesting, and gathering here for generations. May we learn from one another's stories so that we may nurture the relationship of the people of the Spokane Tribe and to all of those who share this land. All right. First thing, the agenda for today. We are proposing that we delay a new business, F, G, and H, until
Or at least until the new trustees is.
on
F,
board.
G, and H.
Yes, please.
Until April,
Hopefully.
Okay.
February.
Any other changes
Your
needed? Yeah. Okay. All right. You're in a new meeting. We'll approve the agenda and then move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the agenda with the edits made.
Move to, are you making?
I cannot make a motion.
Right, okay.
Yes, thank you, sorry.
Move to approve the agenda with the edits made of eliminating new business items F, G, and H.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on to the approval of December's 2025 board minute. Any changes needed? As well.
Move to approve the December 2025 board trustees.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on, the chairman's report. There is none today. So then we'll move on to the library executive director.
And just for Member Tellis's knowledge, we usually do a finance report. It's in period 13, year end, skip it this month and you'll get a complete wrap up next month. Speaking of, part of my report is saying that, welcome, Council Member Tellis as our new liaison for 2026. Looking forward to working with you. As you know, we've had some funding challenges for the library and operations, and looking to figure that out with City Council this year and heading into the levy ask public board at the end of 2027. Not a whole lot. It was holiday time as far as my report goes. I'll be heading to Olympia in February for both some advocacy work for Humanities Washington on that board, as well as the public libraries of Washington. So the directors every year, twice a year, get together and meet and do some training and conversations, but part of that work is also talking to state legislators on priorities for public libraries. So we're doing that in February. We had hoped to have the revised mission, vision, values, and strategic directions to the board this month, but we wanted to take our time and get it right. More time for staff to their input on it, so we're hoping to bring that to next month. Adoption. As far as our continuing DEI work, our selection for book discussion for next month will be I Never Thought of It That Way by Monica Guzman. And that book really focuses on how to have conversations in divided times. Kind of applicable. And as far as our collections go, we have a new offering with Comics Plus. This helps to replace what was lost out of, we canceled that last year due to insufficient funding as part of the budget cuts. But this one was a little bit cheaper for us to offer, so more access to comics. It's hugely popular with the public. We also get graphic novels, some manga, and different books as well. And the cool thing about this is just like with some of our other offerings, there are no holds or wait lists, so it's immediate access. We also swapped out a lot of our academic databases. This was again due to funding changes. State used to subsidize purchases for the Gale databases. And we just sort of went with that because it was a good deal. Now that that's no longer there, we switched over to EBSCO. Very similar content. Much of the public probably won't notice the difference other than. And then our star spotlight for December, we're at South Hill Library. They really put in a lot of effort for the South Hill Swap, which was a big event for that neighborhood. So really just thanking Wynn for their dedication. And as far as the city of Spokane goes, as I said earlier, we're starting to wrap our heads around conversation for this year for next year's budget with city council and the levy in 2027. So this will be a big year. You'll notice that we do have one of the agenda items is to look for folks to volunteer for the finance committee. So looking for folks that can really dig in and figure this out. And that's.
In your, are you anticipating any legislative items that you're watching? And
The one that I'm aware of right now, there's a couple actually. One would be around basically digital lending and helping to support that effort with libraries and communities. And the other is Communities Washington. It's getting the ask for one of their programs, and they lost their funding for what's it called, Family Time. It did just get off the plane. So a little cloudy, but it would be for that. And there's a couple legislative items in there that are focused on censorship in communities around materials. Those are always fun to navigate for libraries, not really, but.
yeah, do you know if there are open comment periods for the three that you mentioned leading up to that?
It depends on the bill, I think,
Okay.
and where it is
Okay.
with committee, but if there's anything that they're looking for that sort of support and advocacy for, then be sure to let folks know.
Okay.
We rate each bill as they come out on a scale of 1 to 4. 1 being we really want to support and advocate. 2,
Yeah.
let's just kind of monitor it.
Yeah.
And then a 3 is let's be aware of the impact, but we're not put any of our efforts towards it. And a lot of those things are changes in state law that might impact retirement benefits or that it's not library specific, but it does impact the organization. And then a 4 is I don't ever want to see this again.
Yeah.
Because there's no impact for public libraries.
Okay.
And we review hundreds of bills that come in. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Andrew? All right, then moving on, council liaison report.
me to talk about what is normally expected for this report, but since this is my first meeting, I'm very excited to be here. I'm a huge advocate of the libraries. I think Spokane Public Libraries are some of the greatest assets we have in the city. So I'm very excited to be on this board, and I'm sure I will have much more updates, library specific.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
And now for the communications report.
Okay, hi, I'm Amanda Donovan. I'm the Director of Marketing Communications. I usually don't introduce myself since everyone knows me, but for your benefit. And then I work on a team with Skylar and Alina. And today I usually give a report that's the previous month. But today I'm gonna look back and give you kind of stats on what we accomplished in all of 2025. So it's a fun time for you to be here so you can get kind of a snapshot of what last year looked like. So in your report, you've got a multi-page document kind of highlighting everything that we did in the past year. But in 2025, we completed on our team of 491 projects. And that was a 23% increase over 2024. And there's some bar graphs in there. You'll see that our top month for projects was February. January and February are our highest because you see that a lot. We're kicking off all of the projects for the entire year. And February in particular was our top year because we were prepping for April, which it looks low on here, but it was because we did all the work in February, but it was a very busy month with a lot of activities and different programs that we did. We wrote, edited, and published 4 magazines. And you'll see the latest issue of Lilac City Local, the winter issue, is there in front of you. And I'm not talking too much about that today. It's our arts issue. It's really a fun highlight of all of our arts programs in the library. We were covered in 109 media stories, and that was our most ever. So the past 2 years, we've really upped our efforts of reaching out to the press. We've sent many more press releases. We've kind of made our strategy for reaching out to the press a little bit more casual in that we send a press release, but then we also send a personal note follow-up, what looks like a personal note follow-up, so that we get more coverage, and that's really paid off. We saw 703,000 users on our website, and our most visited blogs were the True Cost of E-Content, the Summer Reading Club, and all of our different pass announcements. So civic theater passes, soccer passes, all of those top content on our blog posts. The True Cost of E-Content is continuously getting hits. Also, I'm sure that's coming nationwide, and I haven't dove into that source so much, but like people are just looking for that, and it's a really informative post about why that costs so much for libraries compared to how much it costs you as an individual user to buy an ebook. Our top just pages in general consistently are locations, hours, that sort of thing. When it comes to social media, we have almost 16,000 followers now on Facebook, and we posted 402 times with a total of 1.4 million total views. And you can see our top posts down at the bottom. Like I said, our museum pass and cultural pass posts are often very popular, and that was one of our top posts last year. Library of Things posts. And then our top post, sometimes you just can't predict what's gonna be really popular. Our top post was a post we did in mid to late December. And if you saw it, it was a little video up for a display we did at Hilliard Library. Was it Hilliard? Where the librarian there put little sweaters on all of the romance novel covers where the men were shirtless, and she put little holiday sweaters on everyone. Those are top posts for the entire year. So sometimes it's informative content and sometimes it's just fun. On Instagram, we posted over 1,000 times, 1,500 times to our almost 10,000 followers, and our top post was about the budget. So, and that doesn't surprise me, like the not that we don't do fun content on Instagram, but I would say our engagement and the people's investment on our Instagram followers is different than what it is on Facebook. We've got a lot of positive fan engagement on Instagram who would care about our budget deeply. On YouTube, we had 174,000 views, which was less than the past 2 years. Now we're getting a lot of that engagement, I just want to point out, from paid views. So we're paying YouTube to present our videos that we've been producing for campaigns. So that's why you see, and that's been a change in our strategy where you see it quite a bit lower in years previous where we weren't paying for that engagement. And that's why our top videos are also the ones that we produced and then want people to see, kind of like paid advertising in a way. Let's see, and then we sent 11 million emails. Our email marketing strategy is our, like the top way that we engage with our customers. And we did that by sending 11 million of them in 108 different individual like unique newsletters and notices. And those have an average 32% open rate. And we traveled and presented less this year because of the budget restrictions, but we did present at 2 conferences. Both Alina and I respectively presented at one. And Alina and Skylar published an article in late December in Alki magazine. Don't recall if I mentioned that at the last board meeting, but Alki magazine is the WLA journal. And so their story is all about our art campaign, or our campaigns in general, and how libraries can contribute to resiliency in our communities. And it's been really well received. That's 2025 in a nutshell. And on the last page, there's just some screenshots or some graphics of different designs we did this past year.
11 million emails.
And that's not us like sending out, we're not like,
Yeah.
let's create 11 million,
Right.
you know, it's like how many emails were received by people.
Yeah. That's an impressive reach. Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any, with the emails, because I know they've been the most impactful, as you've told us. Do we have numbers for how many people are actually on our email list? Has that been growing as well?
It's the number of card holders that we have. So we haven't done a lot of push to add people to our list that aren't already card holders, but automatically, if you sign up for a library card, you're signing up for our emails. And so it grows in tandem with our card holders, which has,
That process.
yeah. So
Not
that's
like a
130, I think.
Yeah, like
150,000
Right.
people, yeah.
And it decreased because we got better at filtering our patron list to people who are actually still active card
Yeah.
holders and, so it actually would look like it dipped even though the engagement increased because we got better at targeting our emails and filtering the lists.
And so by decreasing the list, typically we'll hopefully see an increase in the engagement and the open rates. And so even if your list gets smaller, you want to see more people looking at them.
Right.
Just sending them to people who delete them or don't even see them.
Yeah.
I do think that's a pretty good
Great.
for how many.
Yes. It's around the industry average.
21% industry average, so we're above that
Above
for sure.
the industry average.
Which also thank you for narrowing down the list. My daughter had 3 library cards. Just for the library. I'm gonna be like,
Start doing the paid advertising for YouTube. Was it 2023?
Yeah.
Why there's a significant.
That's where there's a significant jump there. We've done 3 kind of major campaigns over the last 3 years that included a video component, and we wanted to get that video in front of people, so we paid to make that happen.
Really worked.
any other questions for Amanda? All right, moving on to programming report with Jake.
Yeah, I also have some numbers for 2025 recap. It's pretty graphics.
But you changed it.
I changed everything, yes. I don't know, this chart just was a last minute thing I added, but the rest of it, we have changed the program report to be a programming impact report. You'll see after that. The impact score we've been developing. Harris has been doing most of the work developing the dashboard that we enter all of our stats into and get all of our scores. And this is a report that gets that it creates. So you'll probably get used to this in the next year. But overall numbers, we did 4,534 total programs in 2025. That includes adult programs, youth programs, story times, and all the individual. What's that?
I don't see the year end. It's just.
You didn't put this in my pack there, Skylar?
Thank you for calling me out.
Anyway, well, I'll read it to you and then we'll get it to you. Our attendance overall this year was 54,890, which is down. We had 68,000 last year. We did more programs this year, had less people. There's a couple reasons to explain that. We didn't have tacos and tequila this year, which was 10,000 people last year, so that's a big chunk of that. We also put a bigger focus on a lot of the one-on-ones. We did almost 1,000, actually we did 2,700 one-on-ones this year, which was an increase from last year. Part of that's with the emphasis on the impact score is de-emphasizing total attendance and looking more for quality of programming. So there's a lot of more small group programs and more individual one-on-one stuff this year. But we still probably like to beat last year's score. And I just had a meeting last week, this isn't here, but Tacos and Tequila is planning to return this year. The one-day celebration in August, but a lot of stuff can happen between now and deter them from doing it. So hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, we had almost 1,000 music lessons this year for free at the library, which was 250 more than last year. Our audio engineering sessions went down a bit. We offer fewer of those, just based on the schedule, but they're longer now. So instead of being 4-hour sessions, they're 5-hour sessions. So Andy was finding that they just couldn't get quite everything they needed. So we did offer 86 of those. 329 people came in and booked Ryan in the video studio this year and stuff. INSC in the Northwest Special Collections had 746 one-on-one appointments this year. And that's with Dana being on maternity leave for a quarter of the year, so it's pretty good. Lots of business stuff with Mark again. Our impact score, both for youth and adult, I don't have the last, you don't have any of it, so I can just make up stuff, but
Wow, me, Jason.
we did increase. Our average score for adult impact was 19.5, youth was 17.85. That's up from last year quite significantly. Our impact score is the way that we measure in the design phase of programs. It's a little questionnaire you fill out that gives you a score for what that program impact is. Then you factor in attendance on it. It comes to the final score. So it's how we measure our programming success in addition. December is always the slowest. Usually the slowest programming month for us. So 2,877 people came. Lots of one-on-ones, 253 of the 374 total programs were one-on-one. Couple of things in December that were great. Eva hosted creative mornings here at the Hive and 86 people came. It's a gathering of people and creative people in the community. Eva might be able to speak to it a little bit better than me, but it was here at the Hive. It's always been a successful program. Our New Year's Eve magic party is the big winner this month with 325 people coming to that. And that's all. Questions?
Yeah, something, Jason?
Yeah.
So, Alina and Skylar are gonna be the special guest speakers at the next Creative Morning. If you're not familiar with Creative Mornings, it's a worldwide, thing that happens in cities all over the place. And they always pick a theme. I'm not sure what the theme for January is.
Corso, which is like a
Oh, right,
small
right.
glimmer of hope.
Small glimmer of hope, and these two ladies are always a small glimmer of hope or a big glimmer of hope. So it's the fourth Friday of the month at 10 a.m. No, 8:30. 8:30 to 10 a.m. I can't remember where the location is, but it's a wonderful uplifting event, and it's pretty cool that Skylar and Alina are gonna be the hosts or the featured speakers of the next one.
Any questions for Jason? Yeah. All right, moving on to new business, capital bond fund number 3365.
Good stuff. It's the last time we have to do this.
No.
So hi, I'm Nicole Edwards, I'm the finance director. I know we've met quite a few months ago, but good to see you again. For accountants. We're called the business office within the library administration, and we're have a big shared space at the central branch downtown. So this item will be the final closeout for our 2018 capital bond projects. This is for the Nevada site, which we call B. This is for, that site, and it consists of a greenhouse and then a geodome, which is the public space. This is essentially requesting the board to grant final acceptance for the construction of those two projects within that site. The completion date of this was July 11th. That's when we received our certificate of occupancy from the city. The correspondence attached is essentially all the documents we were waiting on before we could proceed with filing the notice of completion. So the items that are attached to this is the LNI Public Works Portal snapshot of the overall project status, the Alpine Contractor's Certificate of Substantial Completion, and then certificates of substantial completion from both Integris Architecture and Hill International. So once we file the notice of completion with LNI, after you guys approve us to move forward with that, we then will be waiting for clearance documentation from 3 state agencies, the Employment Security Department, the Department of Revenue, and then the Department of Labor and Industries. Once we receive those letters, we'll be able to release the final payment to Alpine Contractors. They did obtain both a payment and performance bond as well as a retainage bond for this project. So there's no retainage held on the public works project. Per Washington State rule, anything over 35,000 requires 5%. And then I do want to be transparent too on that final payment application. So the total amount nets to $27,367.40. So that's the amount we'll be releasing once we get those letters. There is 49 days of liquidated damages included in that payment application. So it's a reduction of $14,700. So essentially the final completion date was set for December 31st, 2024. And we had a total of 3 change orders that occurred to extend that date. So we're trying to work with the contractor. There was a lot of nuances and difficult things that happened with scheduling. So we ended up settling from basically December 31st and to July 11th. The final change order completion date was May 7th. And so we ended up with 49 days of damages on there. But that's all. And I do want to thank Minnie Huang, who's our senior accountant. She works very hard with getting the paperwork and keeping everything organized with the bond. Big shout out and thanks to you. Are there any questions that I can answer?
Just for clarification, the 49 days, is that then our financial responsibility or the contractor? Contractor. Okay, that's what I thought I just.
Yeah. So it's $300 per day. Okay. See what that completion date should be.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Nicole? There are none, then we can move.
I move to grant final acceptance of the Nevada Site Public Works Project, which was constructed by Alpine Northwest LLC, doing business as Alpine Contractors Group LLC.
All in favor? Right. This is the last thing then?
Yes.
Congratulations.
And then we just thank you.
Congratulations.
Then we just have to keep everything for 30 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna be party on that day.
That's your calendars, 30 years. All right, moving on to Sam for the library closure for annual staff day.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sam Day. I'm the Director of People and Culture. It's just a more fun way of saying human resources. So, nice to meet you. So mine's pretty easy. We chose our date for our annual staff day, September 23rd, 2026. This is where we close all the library branches, all our staff come together. Andrew says some words and we all learn and have some team building and give out staff awards. And spend the day together. So we're just requesting approval to close all library branches on the full day, September 23rd, which is a Wednesday. And our regular hours are 9 AM to 6 PM normally that day.
Any questions or discussion for this? All right, hearing none.
To approve library closure for on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2026.
Second. All in favor? Opposed? All right, motion passes. Excellent. And now we get to hear Becky talk about health, fitness, and cultural programming. Sorry, we missed you. Glad you're back. Got a little PowerPoint. Sorry, just gonna share the screen. All right. So I'm Becky Mace. I do adult programming. I'm technically a generalist, so I could be doing any kind of programming really. But lately I've been doing a lot more health and fitness and also cultural programming. So to begin with, one of the regular programs that I do is on dementia. So 2 monthly programs presented by the Spokane Regional Dementia Friendly Community and Aging and Long-Term Care of Eastern Washington. So one is geared for unpaid caregivers and healthcare workers. And the other is a Dementia Friends program. We call it Dementia Basics and Community Support. I'm teaching the community about dementia. I just went through the training to present this. It's the same program every month. So people come, they finish it, they get a certificate. And I'm gonna start practicing it. So that's exciting. I got talked into it because, you know, when you sit in on so many of them, you start kind of memorizing it. So it's really great. Community comes and people have great questions and I'll just keep telling them I'm a librarian. I'm not an expert, but, and then one of my favorite things, and I'm starting yoga teacher training. We're undecided if I'll end up teaching or not, but it's been very, very interesting. But yoga at the library has been very well received for several years. And at this point, I'd say the most successful is the chair yoga. And I say that because it's so important that people who have accessibility needs can receive this kind of this programming for free. So we're getting to the point now where the South Hill room is maxed out every week. We're having to turn people away, which is sad, but there's only so much space when you're, in the chair and you're stretching out into each other. So it's building a wonderful community. I can just tell friendships are being built there. And we started a weekly one at Shadle as of this month. Within 2 weeks, we have 17 people. It's growing. The room's bigger, but I think we're gonna start maxing out that room too. And that room has more space. We also do other yoga programs and those are also well received. I've just have put a bit more into the chair yoga side of things. We also do a lot of dance classes now. So it's actually my daughter on the left and she's doing hula hoop dancing. So we do a lot of it's a lot more like cultural dances. So we got the Scottish, Greek, Bhangra, Bollywood dance, Irish. I'm sure I'm missing something, but these organizations keep coming back and wanting to do more and more of them. So I'm trying to rotate through. So really every month you're gonna find at least probably 3 dance programs going on a Sunday at Shadle because Shadle has the best space for it. Also do cultural programming. So this is art in particular. So one of our yoga teachers does authentic Indian yoga and she's just so multi-talented and teaches all sorts of different art classes too. So we got henna painting and on the left, Indian Rangoli in the middle, and then Indian Kundan jewelry making on the far right. She has a list asking me to do more and more of them and people just love into this kind of programming. And then my favorite that happened this year in the cultural realm is getting the Between Two Worlds grant. So Vanessa Strange and I worked on applying for this grant and we were awarded it and it's so exciting.
So the Yiddish Book Center's Public Libraries program brings Yiddish literature in translation to public libraries across the US to deepen their engagement with Yiddish literature and Jewish life, religion and culture, and to foster vibrant cross-cultural dialogue and discussion in their communities. Each year, the center works with 40 libraries and communities across the US. The current theme is between two worlds, exploring Jewish culture and religion through Yiddish literature. And I want to make sure I say like who this is through. The Yiddish Book Center's Public Libraries program partnered with the ALA, and the funding is made possible through the Lilly Endowment. So I was able to travel to Amherst, Massachusetts, to the Yiddish Book Center to go through the training there, and it was an amazing experience. I was very nervous. I've never traveled for work before, and then I just want to do it again. I had so much fun. Also, traveling alone is its own amazing thing, to sit in an airport and have nobody stressing you out. It's just you. Anyway, so on the next slide, these are the books that, so the first three books, Tevye, The Dairyman, The Zalmanyoners, and A Jewish Refugee in New York, those are all Yiddish books in translation. And they provided 17 copies of each book. We've been busy cataloging them. And then Salt Houses was a fourth book that is not a Yiddish book. It was selected off of a list of books that they gave us to kind of tie into the theme of Between Two Worlds. It's more of the refugee experience. And I read that one. It's a beautiful book. So we will be having book discussions at either our book clubs, or I will do kind of a one-off program for it throughout 2026. And then we are also going to be partnering with Jewish Family Services. They're a wonderful organization here serving the Jewish community. And it's in the works right now, but we've been discussing showing a documentary called Welcome to Yiddishland and having a music program too. So that hopefully will happen in the spring. And just showing a couple pictures from there. So I don't usually show up in pictures because I don't like to pose for them. But this is the Yiddish Book Center, and I love the picture on the right. It's just beautiful the way that building is designed, and all the banners are all from the Yiddish culture and community. And then these are just fun things. I got to go to the Eric Carle Museum, which was on the same campus as the Yiddish Book Center. And then I was able to go to the Mark Twain House, and that was just on the way home. So that was super fun. And yeah, you'll be seeing the programming going on our calendar pretty soon, and it's gonna be throughout 2026. That's all I have today. Thank you.
A lot of fun stuff. Thank you. Any questions for Becky?
Becky, does the grant that you worked on and received, does it run through this calendar?
Yes. Yeah. So we have some money allotted for programming through that. That's separate from the books that they provided.
Thank you again. Moving on to elections of officers.
All right, since Gary is officially off board, he was our chair. We need to elect a new chair and vice chair. Shelby has said that they would fill the role of chair. So, vice chair. Danny would step up for that.
Sure.
Second longest tenure, and having been involved in levy work.
Sure.
But you all need to vote on.
I don't know
You wanna
if I
do
have
it.
anybody for it, so.
You'll need them.
Okay, motion to elect Shelby as the new chair and Danny as the vice chair for. Is it for 2 years?
Just for the next year.
It would be through the end of April 2027.
Okay, so motion to elect Shelby as the new chair and Danny as the vice chair for 2026 through April 2027.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now for the finance committee.
So in order to get the early work done with budget and conversations with city council, I wanted to make sure that we had a strong representation for the Science Subcommittee. And Shelby has agreed to serve as part of that. They have experience now in city council and those connections, which it just makes a lot of sense for Shelby. So looking for Shelby as well. I believe it was
Did you do it?
Gary and Mari last year. I didn't know if Mari wanted to continue on with that role.
I was a committee of one.
Yes. Yes,
I would be willing to be a committee of two. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
need a motion.
To have Shelby and Mari represent the board. It's.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Excellent. All right, and then the rest are tabled. Any additional things to add to the agenda? Nope, okay.
Thank you.
Public comment?
Did anyone sign up? Let me check.
Thank you. All right, well then we will see you all February